Hey everyone, it's Meredith. I'm here with our daily message for Thursday, the 28th of February, 2019, last day of February. Woohoo! Headed into March. Getting closer and closer to spring. Alright, today we are using Astrology Answers Master Tarot deck, and I think we're going to use another deck as well. My guides have been talking to me this morning and telling me that there are two currents of energy in the day. So we're going to deal with the first one. So let's take a look at what's on the bottom of the deck. We have the Death card. We've seen this card quite a bit this week. I think this is our third time, and coming with it is beautiful, the Four of Wands. Well, what a great combo. So we've had a recurrent message this week of simultaneous endings and beginnings on the Death card there. And we've had a lot of repeat this week for the message we've been getting for 3.5 months, which is about stepping through this gateway to our new realm of experience. So obviously by now we all know that this is an ongoing process. It's going to continue to develop for us. But the Four of Wands is one of the happiest cards in the minor suit of tarot. It's called the honeymoon card, as you know. So there's happiness, connection, collaboration, a solid foundation. It's also called the 1111 card because of this little portal here. So make of that what you will. I have to look into that. I don't... I'm actually not well versed in it. I'm not well versed in numerology as a whole, so maybe that's something that I will study a bit more this year so that we can bring that layer to our tarot card readings. So a simultaneous ending and beginning. Now the ending could feel painful. There could be healing work that is required around the ending, but the beginning takes a lot of the sting out of the ending. And my feeling too is that the ending here is something that we have been intending for, preparing for, taking steps toward for a long time. So it's going to feel less like ripping off a band-aid and more like, oh, at last. So coming with that Four of Wands, there's bliss, there's joy, happiness, connection, as I said, collaboration, and good, strong, a good, strong foundation for all of our relationships. So let's see what goes with this. And I have to start shuffling other cards. My guides are on me for it, for the second current of energy in the day for us. Oh, isn't that interesting? The Death card twice. It didn't fall out of the deck, so I'm not going to take it. However, I'm just going to point out that it's there. So pay attention to that message, right? Okay. We have the Seven of Wands. This is having the higher ground. This is exactly what I'm talking about in the ending aspect of the Death card. It feels like something that's been in process for a while. There's been an opportunity to become accustomed to the shift and the change, and there's been much more of a leaning into the joy on that four and the strong foundation of that four. Now, this seven could highlight some defensiveness for us today. So let's be mindful of that. Where we have a reaction rather than a response is it's an opportunity for us to shine our light on what needs our attention. So sevens in tarot, you know it. It's heaven touching earth. So there's the saving grace in that. So the experiences we have in the day may engage a defensive posture to which we can pause and respond with our heaven touching earth within our heart space and ask ourselves, how do we wish to navigate this experience? How do we want to feel on the other side of it? And choose in that direction. Choose toward the happiness of the four. Okay. Then we have the Five of Pentacles. Wow. These cards are tough. They mean business today. You have to have strength and endurance on this seven. And on the five, just as I'm saying here in the seven, where you may engage your defensive posture today and you need to go into the heart space and consider how you want to feel on the other side of the experience. This card, the Five of Pentacles, is really all about coming home into the sanctuary of your own heart space. So this is something in our day where we feel we've been left out in the cold, and it's not been because of someone else's actions, it's because of how we were nurturing or taking care of ourselves, or the lack of nurturing and the lack of self-care. So you have to take the higher ground with your own self, get in your heart space, and do the work that is required of you to maintain the bliss, joy, and happiness that you're going to have over here on this 4. So where have you abandoned yourself is the question here. Are you being defensive about that? Is your ego engaged over it? If it is, what does the ego need? It needs a little bit of validation. So I temporarily feel I am coming into because I am. This is how we care for and love our ego. So rather than picking up the big stick and threatening because we're being found out and we're defensive about it, you know, something we perceive as a shortcoming engages our ego, and we go into protection mode. We need to go into love mode. That's the message here. Next card, yeah, Ace of Swords. Because there's brilliant clarity to be found there, and a divine and cosmic gift, likely this 4 over here, in the ending, new beginning on the Death card. So that Ace of Swords is the universe encouraging us to pay attention to the inner dialogue, because the swords, the Suit of Swords, it's our words, it's our thoughts, it's the ongoing conversation that we have with the all that is that co-creates our world. So what are you talking about in here? So here's a scenario. Let's say you're at work, someone says something and it just rankles you, you know, your hackles go up. Why? What about that person's comment is threatening to you? It's not the person, and it's not necessarily what they said. It's the simple fact that you became engaged. So as you become engaged and the ego rises, there's a defensive posture that's calling for more love and brilliant clarity. So if that sort of scenario, and it could happen in a variety of ways, if that sort of scenario occurs for you today, that's the moment to pause and gather your light, gather your heart space energy. Someone asked me very recently, where exactly is your heart space? And I never really stopped to consider that's the question, or that someone might not exactly know how to visualize that for themselves. So your heart space is really at the center, well, just above the center. The solar plexus is right below the sternum. That's your center. And then above that is the heart chakra, pretty much centered in the chest. But the heart space is, to my inner eye, it is really a band of energy that encircles this region of the body. So it's not so much a physical as it is an etheric energy that expands. You know, it comes in, it goes out, it has a beautiful flow. But being in your heart space means that you're focused on love, and it's an energy that is around you, literally around you, in a circular sphere. It's in a sphere. So just consider getting into that space. There's a huge magnetic pulse there, and if you spend a little time in meditation, you'll feel it, and it's going to be very soothing, calming, loving, tender, blissful, joyful, happy for you. So spend a little time there. Get into your heart space. When you're there, things just get easier. And then the highway between the head and the heart is so much more clear. We're able to listen to, hear, sense, feel, know what's coming from our inner wisdom, from the universal wisdom. Okay, I still have to pick cards here for these other currents of energy in the day. Let's see what our first one is. Ooh, 3 of Swords. See, this is excuse me. This is definitely something that the Death card is trying to take care of here. There's an ending and a beginning. When we see the Three of Swords, most people cringe. They become fearful of their relationships. Oh my goodness, is something going to happen? That's too many cards. When you see the Three of Swords, the worst has already happened. The heart's been penetrated 3 times over. This is a very intense card. There's a cold rain. There are, you know, these unforgiving looking clouds. So this is telling you that the worst has already occurred. And how are you going to take the higher ground with that? Are you going to take a defensive posture and be in protection mode? Or are you going to love yourself and remove those swords so that you can start a new beginning and have this Four of Wands? I would say we're all pointed at the Four of Wands, in spite of how challenging it is to heal from these moments. I really do feel intuitively that this happened. It's already happened, and some time ago, up to 3 years ago for many of you. We've got 3 swords, and I feel 3 years there. So sometime within the last 3 years, many of us have experienced, you know, this grief, loss, and sorrow, and we've had to do the healing work to recover from that. I do feel that we have done a lot of the healing work, and that there are these random moments that will engage us, that will let us know, oh, you still have a little bit of work to do. You are 98% of the way there, but every now and then this one little hiccup is going to show up so that you can bring some attention to where you left yourself out in the cold, where you are not in the sanctuary of your own heart space. Let's see what comes with this. Yeah, see, this confirms what I was just saying. 9 of Pentacles. Love her. You all know I love her. She's got a wild streak, and it's not obvious. I think that's the thing I love the most. Just no one Okay, the camera battery expired right in the middle of that sentence. So what I was saying was that no one expects her to have that wild side, but it's there. It's not cloaked at all, and I really do feel that this is what we're coming into. So she's very well put together. She's a self-made person. She's an entrepreneur. She's got this paradise-like garden. She has a harmony within her finances, you know, all earned at her own hand. She's got the house. She's got the land. She has the joy. She's got a bird of paradise, or even a falcon. She's got it together. She has it going on. And my feeling is that this is where we are at, and these other cards here that are challenging us right now, the 7, the 3, and the 5, are just little flags waving to say, hey, let's put some attention, let's put some more love on this, more love, not less. That's what I feel here. Okay, and then we have Temperance falling out of the deck. So this is allowing. Most people call this card a card of patience. I'm calling it a card of allowing. And it's allowing the divine and cosmic gifts that the universe desire to bring to us so that we can have the fullness of the healing energy that's on offer to us at this time. So my guides are saying right now that we need to sort of recap, remind that while we have a couple of cringe cards on the table, they are not bringing a heavy energy today. In fact, they're bringing a light energy today, letting us know that the response, rather than a reaction, defensive reaction, the response is one of love. We need to embrace ourselves, and we need to put ourselves in a state of allowing to receive exactly what the universe desires to gift us with. So what is that? Card from the bottom of the deck. 2 of them. My guides say take 2. We have 2 of Cups and we have the Star. Because we are in a collaborative, co-creative process with the All That Is to create a partnership with our own self in our heart space so that we can continue this beautiful manifestation energy that we are being offered here on the Star. You know the Star, I tell you all the time, it's the card right after the Tower. She's walked away from that debris field. She doesn't even have a stitch of clothing. But she is in comfort and harmony, not defensiveness, with her own vulnerabilities. It's a beautiful message. And when we come into partnership with ourselves, we need to be able to look at our vulnerabilities without defensive judgment. Instead, we need to embrace ourselves courageously and give ourselves the very love we require to create this kind of self-relationship, and in turn create this kind of beloved relationship that is ever evolving, deeply cherished, and held in reverence and grace and peace and pure raw love, joy, and fun. That's what we're aimed at. We are 98% of the way there. This is not the time to quit, to fall back on that Three of Swords, to throw up the defensive posture, and to leave ourselves out in the cold, because this is what the universe desires to hand to us, and we are being asked to allow that. Fantastic. All right, everybody, leave some comments on this one. It feels really powerful. We have not had the guides come in and say that there are two currents running through the day. So where are you in the current? This is a new experience with the cards. So that was fun, spontaneous. I like that. Happy Thursday, everybody. Please like, share, subscribe here on the channel. It's deeply appreciated as always. Welcome new subscribers, and thank you to my continued subscribers. Really enjoy your comments. Have a blessed day, everyone. I'll be back very soon.